Welcome back. Now, mothers came together in Windhoek last week to discuss Post-Partum Depression, PPD, and the launch of Unmasking Post Natal Depression book authored by Morna Ikosa. Now, PPD is a depression suffered by a mother following childbirth, typically arising from a combination of hormonal changes, psychological adjustments to motherhood. Now, Morna Ikosa, an experienced postnatal depression with the birth of her children. This prompted her to write her story with inputs from experts in her books. She now joins us this morning to shed more light. Morna Ikosa, thank you so much for making time to speak to us this morning.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
Morna, talk to us about what necessitated the need to write about postnatal depression.
Yes, so I really realized that there weren't any books, especially written from an African perspective, on the topic, and I just thought, look, I am a columnist and I write about different things. Why don't I then just write about my experience? And apart from just my experience, and then I decided to reach out to psychologists, psychiatrists, to further also understand and unpack and unmask this issue that is so simply not spoken about.
Now, at what point did you think that you needed to put this in a book for others sort of to actually benefit from the inputs, especially when I like the fact that you're mentioning from the African perspective and more so possibly bring it closer to home from a Namibian perspective?
Sorry, the line is not quite clear. Can you kindly repeat the question?
We're asking at what point did you think that you needed to put this in a book for others to be able to perhaps benefit from your experience, especially from an African perspective and a Namibian perspective?
Okay, so the book has stories of other women as well, Namibian women who have experienced it, not just mine. There is tips on diet, what they need to eat during that time, because if sometimes you need certain vitamins and things to just help with your hormonal balance. It has a lactation consultant where sometimes the mom might be overwhelmed with, not being able to breastfeed her child. So there's advice on that. And sometimes the mom doesn't know what she's really going through. So there is a chapter on thoughts and how to think and how to combat, for example, intrusive thoughts, something that I also wrote about last week in the media. There's also tips on from men. Basically, sometimes we leave the fathers out of the conversation. And so there are fathers who've also contributed to explain how they have experienced it and seeing their wives and what kept them going, especially because the men also get overwhelmed and they feel sometimes powerless and hopeless when they see their partners going through this.
Morna, perhaps from your experience when you came, to writing this book and also seeing the experience of other mothers who have gone through similar challenges as you did, how often did you find out, how often is PPD in Namibia? How often does it take place? How often perhaps maybe in every 7 births? Do we have statistics as of to how many women are likely to experience PPD?
Research recently has revealed that women, especially that have gone through C-section, they're starting to think that anesthesia has an impact on with women and hormones and that most likely women that have gone through, not all the time, but they've seen that there's a trend that women that have had C-sections birth usually experience postnatal depression. So I think, that's why the general awareness is important, not to stigmatize it, not to make them think that they're crazy, not to make them think that there's something wrong with them. It's also just, it's temporary, ideally, it's temporary. And I think that's pretty. They just need to know it's temporary. It's not there forever. and that there is help, and that the book really tries to, and that's why the book is not just really meant for the mothers, although they are the primary people. It's also meant for the support structure, the aunts, the families, the mother-in-law, so that they can see how best they can support this person as well.
Now, for what can women who go through similar experiences probably take this book? You take from this book. You mentioned that, there is your experience that you have gone through. There are some other women that you have also spoken to, or you have inserted their stories in this book. Obviously, similarities, there might be some similar experience, but they might not necessarily be the same.
I mean, look, whether it's depression before birth, some experience. I had a cousin who experienced prenatal depression, which was really bad. So the depressions don't only happen after; they also happen during the pregnancy. But also depression is depression, right? So whether it happens during birth or after birth, it's still the same thing. So that's, I think, what they can draw from is from this book is that whether they experience anxiety. I'm actually realizing that I didn't just experience depression, I also experienced anxiety attacks. And so that anxiety or that fear of something that's bad is going to happen to you, all of that also was addressed in the book.
Now, it is said that PPD is quite common. In fact, it's affecting more than 1 in every 5 women. We talked about, the different experiences they've gone through, specifically maybe perhaps for fathers or husbands, or spouses or partners, whatever that you might call them, who are involved in the lives of these women, who are living with these women. What is their role when it comes to this book? What is a book, is there specific items that speak to the role of men to see how they can be able to assist the women when it comes to PPD?
I think the first one is to be patient with them. I think it's important that you don't shout at them or make it, more stressful for them because they're already going through much stress. You make it safe. You create a safe environment for them and the baby. It's important that the men are really there and present, not just financially, but physically present to help and just be attentive to the ladies. It's important that, like the mother-in-laws and the sisters and aunts also don't impose their views on what is right because everybody has a way of how they want to raise the baby. They can offer the advice, but they must also allow the mother to do what she feels is best for the baby. So I think that is really just important. It's important. I've also seen what has helped me is prayer, just praying and meditating, worshiping. That also just helps to just calm you and give you a sense that because some of these things can affect you if from a Christian perspective can be also perceived as spiritual. So praying also has helped me a lot during the journey. And diet, what you eat, your nutrients. It's important, like, for example, your gut and your brain, they work interlinkly. So it's important that you feed your gut with, proper vitamins like B1, calcium, magnesium, which helps you to sleep because you'll be so fatigued. And so all of that is also discussed in the book.
Now, as we conclude our conversation this morning, how can those mothers, be that, mothers probably who are expecting right now or perhaps who, want to go through your book, how do they get hold of your book? Who do they contact? If you can share those details with us.
Yes, so they get it through me directly now. My number is 0855 55139. Morna. So they just give me a call and the book is $400 Namibian. So they get the book from me and for now that's where it is. And also, they can also get it from Dr. Simon and David in Vula's practice at Lady Pohamba, the suite, and they can also get it from Dr. Helen Merriam in Eros. They can also get it from there, those two obstetricians. Yes.
Well, Morna Ikosa, thank you so much for making time to speak to us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Now, that was Morna Ikosa, who's an author of the book titled Unmasking Post Natal Depression, talking to us about unmasking post-natal depression in mothers, and also the book also offers support for those who are either mums or those who are caring for mums. She did indicate that the book is available for $400 Namibian, and for those that might want a copy, she's reachable on 08 555 139. Stay tuned. When we get to return, we get to continue more conversations right here on Good Morning Namibia.